What's up, AfterBuzzers? It's another episode of American Grit. Last week, Tony was the last man standing. Let's see if he's still up. Let's go.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hey. Oh, yeah.
Another one bites the dust.
We could actually play this every week.
Every week. I was just thinking
I was
really
thinking
good.
about that.
We could play this every week.
could.
This could be
This
like
could just be the official.
legit theme song. Like, legit. But yeah, this is another one, Bites the Dust. And I will say, this was, John Cena said a couple of weeks ago, and it was actually when Mary, when she was gone, the No Excuse Mom.
Okay.
And when she, left, he said this is the first time somebody kind of, finally, volunteered to ring out, which I didn't agree with,
Right.
because she kind of just slipped and fell. But in this particular case, granted she was spent and she gave her all, this is the first time I officially feel like somebody was like, I quit.
We were talking about that off mic, yeah. With there not being any like time limit or anything like that.
Exactly.
You had to actually make the choice.
Because either somebody's gonna fall, like in the last episode, or somebody's gonna not make it. You know what I'm saying?
But I
it was just.
I don't feel she really quit. Like I was telling him, I was like, I like how she's like, my body, I can't. And I've told people that, like, when you're working out or when you're doing something, like when your body's talking to you and saying like, I can't do it, I can't do it. It's like sometimes you just have to, because it's the smartest decision. And she even said it. She's like, with every step I'm taking, like my body is failing.
No,
so
I don't disagree. I'm not saying she didn't give everything. I'm just saying that
I think
this is the first time
comparatively
she said,
speaking, I think everyone expects like to just collapse in a heap and literally not
why
be able
wouldn't
to
I
keep
want her to
going.
collapse? Because there's stairs, your nose, your face.
Exactly.
Oh yeah.
But we didn't even introduce ourselves. Let's do that.
I know.
Because we're
Let's
just
do
talking
that.
away.
Let's do that. Okay.
First of all, I'm Lem Gonsalves, as always, and you can find me on social media at The Poet Saint. Right next to me, why don't you, young lady, just say who you are? Because I think you deserve to say it yourself, because you got the flannel shirt on.
There you go.
You know what? And I wore it for the lumberjacks.
Yes.
I wore it to support the lumberjacks.
I see it.
My name's Yvette, and you guys can find me at Sports and Sass on Twitter and on Instagram.
Yes. And next to her is another gentleman who I'm going to say have introduced himself to. We just got beards. That's all we got. That's how we roll.
Sometimes that's all you need.
That's all you need is just beards.
I have it sometimes. My name is Ty Matthews. Y'all can find me on Twitter, on Instagram at Ty Matthews PMA. Various other after shows, mostly wrestling related, which we got some wrestling talk tonight.
Right.
Oh my
Man,
God.
I got some wrestling talk in.
I felt like I was living through Cam. Like his reaction when John Cena came in, I was like, that would have been me.
Exactly.
By the way, John, did you accept my proposal?
I'm going to say you didn't. I'm going to say you didn't.
But
ladies and gentlemen, I will say that we do have a guest.
Pumped.
We do have a guest in the house. They're not here physically with us.
No.
But they're with spirits, in spirits, and on Skype.
There we go.
We have none other than the main man himself, Mr. Jim Voglica. What's up, man? How you doing, sir?
I'm doing awesome, guys. Awesome. How are you guys?
So excited.
Good.
We are doing very well. First of all, I want to say, number one, congratulations on still being in the running with your team.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Also, I want to thank you for your support on the show, because I know you watch it every week. And you
Yes.
also tweet, and you kind of do all those kind of things and help promote. So I really appreciate that as well.
Yeah, you guys, you've done a great job reviewing all the episodes. Just amazing stuff. You guys, you seem to know behind the scenes information somehow.
Is that somehow?
That's that woman's intuition.
That's what it is.
We're just
I'm
really
amazed
smart.
Every week, I'm amazed by you guys.
No, we
Well,
really
thank
do.
you.
We really do appreciate it. Now, I kind of want to, dive into this with you because, first of all, I'm really excited to have you on here because there's a lot of questions that I would like to ask you. I know you have been, it's been stated that you're the oldest person that's on the show.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I wanted to kind of start off by saying, how did that play for you as far as like with individually as a person, with your team, all of that? How did that play into it, or if it did at all?
Well, I think I bring life experience. Hopefully some wisdom.
Okay.
I try to motivate my team. I try to maybe think outside the box sometimes. I think that my life experience and especially working in the police department for so long,
Right.
I'm used to going into chaotic situations and kind of like seeing the right path to take, and I try to impart that on my team.
That's awesome. That's awesome. To me, I think you've definitely done a good job with that. I commend you on that. I want to say though that I think it's interesting because when you're kind of talking, you have like a cadre that's there, and it's kind of helping you and mold you. Do you feel like you help the cadre out in any way? As far as with your experience and with the wisdom that you have as being on the force and doing other things in your life?
Yeah, I mean, I try and help Nick out. I also know my place. A good leader is a good follower, and I don't overstep my bounds. I make suggestions to Nick, but ultimately it's his decision.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's get into this episode.
Let's get it.
And we see, Tony. Starts off, Tony reflects on being the last on his team. We know that his partner in crime went last week, Yvette.
Right.
So sad to see her go. And speaking of Yvette, we had her on the show last week, and she said that we should ask you this. I don't know if you remember this, but I've been dying to ask this. She said that you kind of saw her in a compromising situation. Would you like to?
Yes.
Could you please expound on that, sir?
Wow, I can't. She said that?
Yes, he did.
All right, so we're thrown into the same house together, right?
Right.
So, and we're doing quick changes a lot of times. So, and if you notice the doors to the rooms, they're glass,
Yeah.
So sometimes you're just like, why even bother closing the door?
It's true.
Makes sense.
And they wake us up so early in the morning, and it's just like, hurry up, get dressed. So one day, I'm outside. I'm in the common room actually, and I'm getting mic'd up, and I'm looking straight into Yvette's room. I'm just standing there. I'm just minding my own business, right? I'm looking straight ahead, and there's Yvette, and she's trying to put her pants on. And Yvette.
Struggle. I feel her struggle.
You know what I mean? Yvette's got that booty, right? and so
Yes.
like all her pants, they're all gonna be tight. So she's pulling up her pants,
And she's jumping.
and it's a fight. You know what I mean?
It's a fight.
Yes.
Damn.
He's pushing down, Yvette's pulling up, and I think she had like a towel or something. It fell, and all of a sudden we just locked eyes, and she realizes that I'm watching her do this, and instead of me just like going like this or something, I just looked right at her.
Oh man, I love it.
Laughing. She never let me forget that.
Yeah. I thank you so much.
I'm sure
That's
you guys
incredible.
wish you were in Jim's position.
Hilarious.
Getting in that situation, she made sure. She said you got to ask him, and she, obviously was a good sport about it. So, and I'm sure it had something to do with, like you said, you're thrown in a situation, you're bound to, things that are going to happen, not purposefully.
Things happen.
Yeah, things happen. But
So speaking of that, we talk about we talk a lot about the feelings of camaraderie and stuff like that arise when you're thrown into a house. Obviously, tensions arise as well.
Right.
We've seen the differences between Jim and Maria earlier on in the season.
Right.
How much of that, without getting too much into the weeds, how much of that is legitimate? Tension is any of that are the producers prodding you for that?
Fabricated or
Yeah. How much of that is organic, and how much effort do you have to kind of put forth to bury the hatchet afterwards?
No, what you see is what happens. No one ever told me to say anything. As far as I know, no one was told to say anything at all. It was, it happens like it happens. So, keep in mind, they're filming 16, 18 hours a day. So they're going to get a lot of footage. They're going to get everything that happens. And yeah, me and Maria, we did have our differences. She's very strong-minded. She's used to taking the lead and running things, and so am I. So whenever we had a difference of opinion, there was going to be some discussion there. But I never really got mad at Maria. We were never really at odds. You know, I enjoy a good argument. If you got a good side of your opinion, you know, bring it to me. We'll work it out. You know, no hard feelings. There was definitely some tension. Chris, you know, Chris was the first one out.
Oh man.
Gotta go back to Chris.
Yes.
Gotta go back to Chris.
Absolutely.
And Chris was a strange guy. I never really got a read on him. I him because I didn't know. I just didn't know how to take him. I didn't understand the guy, and so for that reason I just avoided him. And some people couldn't avoid him, and you saw what happened. Him and Maria, they just didn't get along at all. I don't know. So yeah, there were definitely some tense situations at times, but you know, as you get later into the competition and the season, we kind of gel and we become tighter. We become like a family, the American Grit family, I call it.
Nice. I want to mention, talk a little bit about this episode and kind of going to the part where you guys are, you know, doing the initial challenge. And there's a lot going on. You basically talked about your skill in navigation, land navigation, or lack thereof. You didn't study in college.
Lack thereof.
I like how they brought that up. I didn't study this course. Just, you know, skip right past that. But there was a point, you know, and we know that, you know, of course, Team Noah has been winning almost every challenge up to this point. And, you know, in this particular instance, you know, you guys are neck and neck with them. And literally it comes down to just a few minutes where they end up taking first spot and you guys are like right behind them in second. What are you feeling at that point? Because again, you know, like I said, you know, they've been winning. They haven't really seen, only one time they've been to the circus. Everyone else has had to go every single time, of course. How are you feeling at that point when you come so close to getting that first spot and beating them out in this particular challenge?
You know, that evolution was so long. You only saw a small part of that. We were actually behind them for a long time, and we were trying to catch them. They were right in, like 100 yards in front of us, and I kept on saying, we can't watch them cross the finish line right in front of us. That's gonna kill me if I watch them cross the finish line and they're right in front of us and we can't catch them. And we tried and we pushed them and we pushed them. And every time we got a little closer, they sped up a little bit, you know? And my plan was to just drive them into the ground, to just keep driving them as hard as we can push them, and hopefully they'll break. And it just didn't happen. We were seconds. We were literally seconds behind them. We watched them climb the stairs up to where John Cena was waiting, and we just all collapsed after that. It was heartbreaking, and I'll probably still have nightmares about it.
Yeah, you were very vocal during that, and I noticed, you know, what they saw, that you were really driving your team, and I can imagine it being frustrating because you really want to take this, and you feel like it's right there, and you know, again, it just kind of, you know, slips through your fingers, and then you know that somebody again has to go into the circus, unfortunately.
Right. And K-Joy had the backpack. She had the heavy backpack that whole day, you know, and she's a strong woman, but she's really not built to be carrying heavy things, you know, especially running through the woods. And you saw the type of forest we went through. Like no human being has ever gone through that forest the way we did. We were breaking new ground, and there was thorns, like giant thorns and little tiny thorns that caused bad infections, and it was a nightmare that whole day, just trying to get through that and seeing the green team right in front of us for so long. And we pushed K-Joy as hard as we could, and you saw me at one point. I grabbed her hand and I was pulling her.
Yes.
That happened several times. We just tried to pull her as hard as we could. She, she kept up. She did her best. She's just not built for that.
Interesting. What would you say going into, when I want to fast forward some more and going right before the circus, and I know that you kind of had a strategy with, playing some mind games with Tony, because you knew Tony was at the end. You know that he was the only person left on his team, of course, and you knew that he was kind of exhausted mentally and physically. So, you thought, like, let's play some mind games with him to try to get in his head, to try to work that out. It didn't work. Unfortunately, but I know when Nick is going over everything with you, is there a sense of desperation at that point? You didn't have to go in because you had just went in prior, so you knew you were safe. But it was either going to be K-Joy or it was going to be
Cam.
Was going to go Loverboy Cam.
We'll get to that.
We're gonna get to that.
Sure, we'll get to that.
Oh man.
So, I just know that in talking to Yvette and just watching this show, it just seems like you go through so much. It's not just physical; it's so much mental. It's so much
and
mental
emotional.
with this. Yeah, so much.
Like the way he said he was pulling her. I swear to God, I think if I was going through that and someone was pulling me, I would probably have tears streaming down my face because I'm frustrated, and then I have someone who's frustrated for me who's pulling me through it. So I can only imagine like how emotional this was, like not even like physical, like emotional, like, and when you get emotional and you get in your head like that, like it'll just ruin everything else.
Oh, absolutely.
Because mind over body. But
yeah, I mean, if you could shed some light on kind of what it was right before the circus at that point, like what you guys were thinking, what was said.
Well, do you mean after K-Joy was chosen, you want to talk about?
Well, you just everything, like right before she was chosen, when Nick was talking to you, and then after she was chosen, kind of like what the morale was and kind of gearing up for the circus.
Well, we knew that Tony was going in.
Right.
And so it's always strategizing as far as who's going to go in to the circus. Who is the cadre going to choose to go into the circus? We already knew that Tony was going in. So then you think, all right, so who is Rourke going to send in against Tony? Tony is, he's a gifted athlete. The guy played on 4 different NFL teams. So are we going to send in... Is Rourke going to send in Hayes, who is a definite warrior, but she doesn't have Tony's skill set? Mario has more of Tony's skill set. Mario is an endurance athlete. He's very light. He's got the nickname Tarzan. He climbs like a monkey. He's got endless endurance. So, should we send in Cam against those two? And, sort of fighting fire with fire? Should we send in someone with a different skill set in K-Joy? And just, it's just like you don't know what the endurance event is going to be.
Right.
And that's what everybody sweats every circus. What's the endurance event going to be? If this was the balancing act, all right, and it was Tony and Mario against K-Joy, then, she's going to take it, right?
Right.
If it was probably the one that I did, squat till you drop, I think K-Joy could have been there for days.
Right.
What is the endurance event going to be, and who whose strengths is it going to play to? So I think that's what Nick was thinking. Let me send in, instead of fighting fire with fire, let me try and fight fire with water.
Okay.
And just hope that you get an endurance event that K-Joy is going to excel in.
Gotcha.
And this was not the endurance event for K-Joy against those two guys.
Sure,
Right, yeah.
sure. So that being said, of course, K-Joy doesn't make out. She has to ring out. At this point, now you're losing another person on your team. So you're going to go to 2. What is the thought process there? Where are you at there mentally with your team?
We loved K-Joy. She was always so positive. She never said that she couldn't do something. She never complained. She had the foot. They have since forgot about her foot, which was awful.
That's right. That's right.
But she never said, I can't do that because of my foot. She was always, I'll get over it. It's not a problem. I can do this. So to lose her was to really lose a positive spirit on our team. But that being said, should we dwell on who we just lost, or do we look forward and say, all right, let's make the most of this. Let's say we're going to be a stronger team now. I'm always in the mindset of we're going to win this next battle. If you don't have that mindset, you've already lost half the battle. So when we lost K-Joy, I said to Cam, all right, 2 strong guys, let's be a stronger team now. Let's be a force to be reckoned with. We're the dynamic duo at this point. We're going to show the rest of the house what we can do.
Awesome. And that's kind of after you play it. You have to play it that way.
You have to. You
have to do that, man. You can't just cry about your losses.
Right.
Exactly. Like, who was it that said that in order for you to do something, you have to speak those things out loud? Was it Mario?
I think it was Mario.
I think it was Mario that said it. And,
because he was talking about he's the track guy.
Yeah, and that's very true. It's like you have to. And like how he said that K-Joy, like, I completely forgot that she even hurt her foot.
Right, exactly.
Because that's the type of person you want. And I think that's the type of team Nick is. Well, and along with the other teams, you don't really realize if there's anything wrong with them because they don't mention it. They don't talk about it.
Right.
And that's why how some people were saying like, oh, she just quit. How can you say when she's had injuries before and you don't even remember?
Exactly.
Like the girl put in all she got, and she got through it.
Right.
I have a toenail that's hurting me, and I don't even want to put on my boots.
Right.
So I mean, I give it to her, and he brought up a good fact, and now it's a dynamic duo against one lonely
Tony.
One lonely
Team,
Tony.
Team T.
And
Yeah.
then-
And this is going to happen. It's going to whittle down, until it gets to the end and how it works out. Jim, first of all, I want to thank you so much for joining us. Before we let you go, and I know it's super late there over on the East Coast, and I appreciate you staying up with us and talking to us. And I know you're a fitness dude, seeing that, your post on your Twitter and everything. If you want to just let the fans know, like, what you have going on, anything you want to promote, now's the time. Definitely want to, give you that opportunity.
Thanks for having me on. Like I said, I've watched all of your reviews. They're all great.
I'll make sure that check gets in the mail, just so you know. Thank you.
I'm looking for my next challenge at this point. This after this season winds down, I'm open for any offers.
Okay.
Amazing Race.
My police career is winding down. I'll be retiring within a year.
Okay.
And I'll have a lot of free time to do whatever. I'm not ready to head for the old folks home. So you can follow me on Twitter. I'm a Jim Expedition.
Okay.
And you can find my Facebook, Jim. It's all under Jim Vaglica. And I guess what's next for Jim? I'm just looking for my next challenge. You know, the most of the team is coming to Boston. We're all going to do an obstacle race.
Oh, really?
Oh my gosh, how fun!
Nice.
I think it's in July. We're going to do an obstacle race.
Okay.
Maybe 8 or 10 of us. So I'm looking forward to a big reunion with the American Grit people.
Nice.
Nice.
That's really
I've always wanted to go to Boston. You guys want to join us?
Yeah.
Right?
Let's go.
I know. We should all go.
We're sitting here talking so
I know.
much, you know. Let's just go ahead and do an
Is it
obstacle
July?
course.
Yeah, let's join.
I was amazing at the Junior Olympics, and you know.
There you go. There you go.
We'll run the obstacle race. We'll get all muddy, and then we'll all have a bunch of beers at the end.
Yes.
There you go.
There
Cam
it
and I
is.
can talk wrestling.
Let's do it. You guys can talk
man.
wrestling.
Oh, yeah, that's
I can
right.
try and convince,
Yeah.
John Cena to accept my proposal. Whatever.
Whatever works, man. But we really appreciate you, Jim. Thank you so much. And like I said, thank you for supporting the show and watching every single week. That's really dope to hear. And before it's all over, we might just have to have you back and give us some more recap.
I'm here. You guys need me, I'll be back.
That sounds great. Thank you so much, Jim. We'll see you later.
Thanks, Jim.
All right.
Bye.
Man. So, good dude. Good dude.
Awesome.
I
Good
love
dude.
him.
Yeah,
he talks
yeah.
so much, and I like the
Yeah.
Boston accent.
Yeah.
And my
And he
team
seems
is
like
the Patriots.
what's
so.
dope is I think too is and of all the guests we've had, they seem like they are on TV. Like they're the same.
Exactly.
Like that's what he gave us is what he's been giving the show.
Right.
What he's been
That's
on the show.
something. Yeah, that's something that I always wonder about if people are being portrayed accurately and fairly. And it seems like what you see is what you get.
Yeah, at
you know?
least for this one, he got,
Right.
I think this show really did well at portraying people how they actually are.
Sure.
Like,
Absolutely.
I feel if I saw Cam, him and I would fangirl over John Cena together. Not to call you a girl, but I just think it's so endearing how much he loves John Cena.
We need to have Cam on the show. That's what we have.
Yes, we
to
need
get
to.
Cam. We need to talk to Cam.
Just the way, he got, he's like, oh my God, I was waking up to John Cena. Like, he was so
Yes, he
excited.
did
I was
say
like, that's how I would be. I would, jump up and be like, oh my God, I'm waking up to John Cena. I don't want to do anything to make him mad.
Dude, that is so
So-
hilarious. That is super hilarious.
Right, the way
the
he
little
did
That's
button.
super hilarious.
He didn't want to get into
Yeah,
his.
yeah. Oh my God. Oh yeah, he's like, I have time to
And
do
I
my
love
hair,
how he
so
apologized. He's like, so
Yeah.
I'm sorry for this.
That's right.
I'm like,
Sorry for this mess.
This
I
little
love it.
quaff of hair.
I
here
wonder if
that's
John Cena
over
though
my
sat
eye.
there and he was just like,
Yeah.
No, we got a lot
Oh,
of good Cam moments in this
Yeah.
episode.
we did.
Speaking
I
of
love-
Cam, let's talk. Let's really get down to
Let's
it.
get it. Let's
get down to Cam.
Because not once again, I gotta come back to the wrestling. He has a conversation with Hayes that I've had with a million different people, where it's like, yes, we actually hit each other in wrestling. Yes, it actually hurts. And he drops
So
some
wait,
knowledge on
when
it.
Hulk
Drops
Hogan
about
would
it.
do the razor over the thing.
Right.
Hey, that's real blood. That's real
Oh
blood.
come on, stop.
Absolutely.
Well, you always do it
Really?
here because they say this is where the most blood flows,
Yeah,
right?
if you
So
look
it's
at a
more
picture,
dramatic.
If you look at a picture of Ric Flair and you see how much scar tissue he has on his forehead,
That's from-
that'll
so
tell
real-
you
really?
that's all real blood, bro, man.
Oh. So when they would get hit in the back with the chair back in
Those
the
are-
day,
yeah, absolutely,
Really?
absolutely.
I can vouch for that. My brothers used to hit me with
You
the chair.
know, it's not that we know a secret way to make it not hurt.
Yeah.
It's just that we're okay with it hurting.
Oh, is that
No,
what
I
it
think you
is?
guys know a secret.
Trust me, if we did, we would have started using it a long
you'd
time
have tried it
ago.
out. You'd tried
He
it
drops
out.
some knowledge.
Yeah.
Teaches her the sit kick. That's a kind of a newer wrestling
Another
move.
newer wrestling
Dropping
move.
some Roderick
Yeah.
Strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who knows?
I just the whole Hayes situation. Okay. So this is the thing. Now, to my knowledge, I do
They're
not
sleeping
remember.
together
Well,
in the same bed.
well,
Because
I
when
know.
she's like,
I
we've
saw
had
that.
some cuddles, I was like, have they been sleeping together?
I saw. Well, I
Not
saw
like
that. I saw that. Right. No, I saw that they've been in the bed together.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that.
Right.
I do not remember seeing them kiss before.
No, we never saw them. We
never
didn't
saw
get to
them.
see the
Never.
first one.
And I remember because when she grabbed him and they like,
I thought. Did you think that was the first one?
I thought it was the first
Me
one.
too, me
He
too.
And then
so,
she
like,
said,
caught off guard.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he was like super like, okay.
Right.
But she said like, oh yeah, we
We've
make
been
out.
having,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I was like, yo, we didn't see that.
I
So
know.
they must have been doing it on the straight under. And then I think this was a situation where they didn't care, or at
Right.
least she didn't care.
Right.
And, you know, I know she afterwards, she's like, oh my God, you're 10 years younger, and all this kind of stuff.
She did that a little dramatic though. She knew the cameras were there. The way she got it, she's like, "You come here."
Yo,
And I was like,
hey, get it, girl.
That was serious.
You know?
That was real serious.
I wouldn't have done it like that.
You wouldn't have done it like that? I could see you doing that. I could see you
No,
just
no,
taking
no,
charge
no,
like that.
no.
No?
No,
Not like that?
no,
No?
no.
I see
To
you
me,
maybe
it
put-
didn't look genuine. It looked like she almost did it for the camera. That's how I like when she did it. I was like,
I don't know.
you guys can say you don't know, but a girl knows how she's gonna approach a guy.
But that's what I'm saying. She took charge.
Okay,
to
there's
me.
taking charge, but then they're like you. Okay, let's be realistic.
Let's be realistic.
How I don't want to say delicate. Let's see how endearing Cam is and how, you know, almost innocent he comes off.
He's
Okay,
21. He's
and
21 year old.
exactly,
Yeah,
and
he's
she's 30.
21, right.
You think honestly a woman of 30 years old is going to come on to him like that?
100% yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Oh my
Absolutely.
gosh.
In fact, because of that, because of how innocent and endearing he is, absolutely, that makes her feel like, oh,
No,
I can
I would
be
have been
this.
like trailing my fingers up the
Well, see,
shoulder,
well-
like making them all nervous.
See, there's different approaches.
There's different approaches, and I think too. Also, they've had spent some time together. They've cuddled. They've obviously have kissed before. So I think this was a situation where also
He's been
because
getting
she
some
is
booty rubs.
she's in maybe so, but she is the older person in this, and I think that he's not. He doesn't seem like the type because of how he is. It comes off personality wise, and the fact that he's young to be making the first move. So I think she just basically. Yeah, it was a little over the top. I do agree.
Cam, we need to get you on here because now I want to know.
Let's talk about
Was that the real first move, or did you make the first move?
I don't-
Is what I want to know.
I wanted to hear from you, Cam. I want to hear
Cam,
from you too.
we're asking.
make it happen.
We need
Let's
to make it happen right
all
here.
Of that. All of
right
that.
here.
Here.
This is
I
right
want you
here.
physically in the flesh.
We want you physically here. I want to read your aura. Did I say read your aura?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah,
you
you
did.
Wow.
You did. No, I don't think he made the first move. I think it was all her. And I don't fault him for that or anything like that.
No.
I think that's, it's a
Sometimes it
show
is that
exactly
way.
like that. But I do think it's interesting, and we'll probably find out more in the next episode, that it seems like she might be kind
I
of
have a
playing
feeling now.
him.
I have a feeling now they're trying to paint a villain since
Right.
Chris was the villain. Now they're going to be like, because I was like, oh, and then they said, I was like, oh, what?
Right, that took a turn. That took a
I was
sharp
like-
turn.
It did.
Is
It
she-
did. It did.
And then
but you saw what she said. She said something like, "Well, it's a game. I'm trying to play the game."
Which may or may not have been taken out of context.
It could have been. It could have been.
Those-
It was just one sound.
With
bite.
our
It could
luck,
have
we
been.
totally know it was
Right.
totally taken out of context.
right.
And I'm over here like, oh, poor
Right.
Cam.
Right.
We'll find out later. But
gonna
for
have to,
now,
go talk to
for
John
now,
Cena and get
there was.
some
We finally did
love
get some
advice.
action.
If he bros out with John Cena and gets
He's going to be
like,
like, bro, what did I do wrong? What?
That
Give
would be
me your
epic.
secret.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. I don't think he could take it. I think,
know?
he'd probably explode. He probably, if he got to have a heart to heart with John like that, he'd probably explode. It would just, it would
He
happen.
would.
He
And we're not
would
making
explode.
fun of you, Cam. We just
Yeah.
love how endearing you are. And
yeah.
so,
So
it's
endearing.
it's like it's almost a
Super
genuine
endearing.
it's like a genuine innocence.
right.
It's the
Yeah.
and you usually don't see something like that on a reality show is what I'm saying. So I think it's cute. It's
is.
as cute as a damn button. Like I said the first time.
Button-
He's as cute
button
as a
cute.
button.
It's button cute.
Button
That's what it
cute.
is. That's what we
Button.
want. What's we want in American Grit? Button cute things.
Button
That's
cute.
that's what goes
Hashtag
down.
button cute.
Hashtag button cute. All right, so we got the sucking face from Cam and Hayes. We have Rourke, who basically is just. I mean, he's kind of at his wits' end with his team.
oh man,
Continually coming in last.
Dad's upset.
Yo, and they came in like super last. Like they've come in last before, but
I don't even think
They didn't even
they
finish.
didn't
did
even
they?
start.
they exactly. They were lost in the woods.
Man.
And I love how it always says where they are, and then on the thing is
Whereabouts
whereabouts unknown.
I
That was
lost
hilarious.
it. Oh,
That was
I lost
hilarious.
it. But it's like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
I told him, I was like, if it was me, I would have been done for it because
Yeah.
you could give me a map and I'd have it upside down thinking I'm reading it the right way.
But still,
So-
I mean, you have 3 different people.
You at least-
But what I was telling him, none of them have the training like in the other teams do.
Yeah, but
Think
it's,
about it.
but still,
At least
though,
I thought, though,
who
Hayes would have
has-
had a little bit
but
of
who
con-
has training though
But I mean,
Like,
as
what
far
kind
as
of
like
training
the
to read a
comment,
map?
like
to calm what?
I need a training.
Well,
to read a
I'm
map.
saying too. I mean, no one's an expert, but
No,
what I'm
but
saying
I know.
is,
But what I'm saying is like I thought at least Hayes would have had some type of insight, like from her dad. Her dad was a Marine. He would have been like, hey, honey, growing up, he would have been like, this is how you read a map. This is how you do this. This is how you figure this out. Whereas Team Noah, you know, they had...
Who?
I don't know, they're robots.
No, Mark, my man Lumberjack.
Mark Lumberjack.
He was all about compasses and
He even
maps.
said he trained people on how to read compasses.
Right. But that's one person.
Team Nick,
That's one
you
person.
have
Who has
Jim,
Nick?
who was SWAT. They learned those tactical things.
All I know is yes, you can have
I'm
advantages.
trying to give Team Rourke the benefit of the
You
doubt.
are.
Okay, I'm finding a way.
I'm saying because, and this is the thing, it's not like this is the one instance. They've been coming in last pretty consecutively.
Right. And I think this time the thing that they were, you know, that really did him in was trying to go through the forest instead of taking the roads.
Right.
Because it's like Mario said, like that was some ridiculous terrain that they were going through.
Oh, and even Jim.
And Jim said it too,
it's not even, not even touched. They were first person to plow these things. So,
I would have been a brat. I would have been like, I'm going that way.
Right,
I'm not going that way.
Not doing
I would
that.
have crossed my arms and been like,
Not
no.
doing
I ain't going through all these things.
Yeah, but no, Rourke is definitely unhappy. You know, it reflects on him, as a cadre and all of that. So I think it'll be interesting to see going forward because he has these talks with them. He cares about them. He has these talks. For whatever reason, it just doesn't seem to get through. You know,
Right.
But like we said, how many times are you gonna have to do something?
Right.
It's just I don't think they're just working together as a team. And I think I don't know if we're gonna see it maybe later in the season, but I feel like there's maybe one person on that team that we're not seeing who is not a team player and is just in it for themselves.
Interesting.
Because it's not clicking. It's not.
I see, and that thing, when you say that, I think we would have seen that. I think something like that would have been shown to us on TV. That's just what I'm saying, because it would show why. But I think that because or Rourke would point it out, because this is the only challenge that he wasn't able to be with them presently. Right?
God,
this is the first time.
Oh, that broke my heart.
Yeah.
Just like seeing him just kind of.
Yeah.
I know, he was just
right there. Yeah.
Waiting.
Yeah.
Kicking rocks.
He's
It was
my team's not here.
That was
so yeah, they're not here.
and I love how he's like, well,
Yeah.
maybe we just need to leave them in the
exactly.
woods
Yeah.
because they didn't.
Let them sleep in the woods.
Let them sleep in the woods.
Tough love.
But no, I mean, it really, and you figure, so if it was something where it was someone there, either Rourke would have pointed it out or we would have seen it visually play out on screen. That's my opinion about that.
Sure.
Okay.
I really think that they just can't gel, because if you look at, the flip side is Noah's team, and they continuously come in first. They've only not come in first one time.
Once. And this is the 7th episode.
Yeah, exactly.
Once.
So, I mean, I think it's the spectrum. You have Rourke who just can't work together, and you have Noah's team that works together very, very well.
Right.
That
That was,
it's matched up.
I think, Noah honestly just put together like this perfect storm
Yeah.
of different types of
Exactly.
people that are absolutely insane.
Just crazy. Just crazy with it. So
I loved, in fact, speaking of that, I loved Claire's extensive knowledge of mushrooms. Everyone's got their little niche.
right.
She's like, and there's this mushroom and that mushroom.
love that.
And she's like, in Washington, we went mushroom
Right.
picking. And I looked at him, I was like, of course they did. Of course they went mushroom
that's
picking.
what you do.
That's exactly what
Never
you
know
do.
when that's going to come in
of
handy.
course, mushroom picking.
I would have been like, can you make me a mushroom burger while you're talking about it? Because I need some fuel.
Right. So we did talk about the circus somewhat with Jim, but it ended up being Tony, of course, because he had to go in.
Wait, before we, I know we don't have that much time, but
Right.
before we get into that, let's talk about the massages that Team Noah earned, and the fact that they did it right in front.
Yeah.
I mean, not that they chose
Yeah.
it, but
Sure,
that
sure.
the table was set up right in the middle of everything.
I loved hearing Lumberjack though. I loved him. He's like, I wish I could get more massage. Like
He's
he
the
was just
best.
so he was talking the whole time, and massages are supposed to be like relaxing. He's just like,
He was super
going,
excited.
going.
No, he was super
excited, and I
excited.
loved it because it's like. It's nice to see something like that. Like he's like, oh, this is only my second massage ever.
Sure, yeah, and,
Because he pays bills.
he's gonna be a dad.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a dad too.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm rolling on logs
Right?
for my massage.
Massages cost money. I got to pay bills.
You know?
That's
He's
the
got his
lumberjack for you.
priorities, right?
Yeah,
He's got his priorities.
Not hating, but he probably will take the chance to have more massages after this one.
Oh God, yes, yeah.
He very much enjoyed it. And what was it, Hayes? That was just like, really, right in front of us,
Right.
Like, come
right.
on now.
Which, ironically, a lot of people people probably say that when her and cameraman.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, like really? Right in front of us?
Right in front of us? You gonna kiss him like that? Right in front of us? Ain't nobody else can do some
You're
running.
gonna kiss him like that? I see your little shorts.
Yeah. Hilarious.
I see how little them shorts were. Nice tactic.
Oh, man. So the circus ends up being constructed of Tony, Mario, and K-Joy. And it was interesting because, we was talking to Jim earlier, and he was the one that kind of said, hey, get in his head, try to break him down mentally. And everybody kind of, that was the sentiment. Like, they said, Tony's going to ring out. He's the only person there. He had to do everything himself. He's just mentally exhausted, physically exhausted. He's going to be the one. And realistically,
I didn't think he was. Well, I mean, but I like when she's like, "Oh, you've had a good run." Like she was already saying, "Bye," and he's like,
yeah.
"Oh, I know I have."
Yeah.
And he caught on to it.
And
like
I will
he's like,
continue to.
he caught on to it. Like, and I think that is like when he kind of maybe in his mind,
Maybe
we don't
switch.
know, flipped the switch because he was like, "Oh, okay,
All right, I see you.
all right, I see you. I
That's how you
see
feel?
what you're trying to do."
That's how you feel? Okay.
Exactly. It's
how you
like
feel?
I would have been like, "Really? Tell me how you really feel.
Right.
How do you
Exactly.
feel? Tell me."
Yeah, he could have used that for motivation, and I knew he wasn't going to ring out just because we had the conversation with Yvette, and she was just like, "Oh, watch my boy, just don't give up on Team T."
When
don't
I
give
saw
up.
what the challenge was, I was like, I told you from the beginning, I was
Yeah.
like, she's gonna ring out.
She's gonna ring out.
She's gonna ring out because, like he said, she's a strong woman, but she's not built
Right.
for that.
This
And there's
particular-
there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
Just like every circus, someone's not built for that.
For something.
Someone's not built for something, and that's why it's
Right.
that's,
Well, and especially with an endurance test that's built on basically walking back and forth and going up and down these stairs, we don't know how much is still remaining from that foot injury. So
Right.
exactly. And her strength is through yoga. And
it's a whole different
it's
type
a
of skill
whole
set.
different type
Sure.
of strength, a whole different skill set. Whereas
Sure.
Tony, he knows how to lug, he knows how
Right.
to run with pads and all that stuff, and he's dealt with weights and he's dealt with carrying his own body weight. Same with Mario, like they know how to. That's how they train. So
Right.
it's like.
It was not built for her.
Was not built for
just
her.
as Jim Fry, and he took a challenge. Team Nick took a challenge, like you said. He wanted to kind of fight the water with fire because you don't know what it is. So hopefully, be on the opposite end of things. So then, if it does go to her favor, then she's locked in.
Exactly.
And that's kind of the thing you kind of have to do.
You have to play that.
play the strategy game.
Sure. Exactly.
Unfortunately, it didn't work out for her. So she did ring out. She gave it her all. She did what she had to do. Let's go ahead real quick. Got a few more minutes. Let's get into predictions.
Yeah.
And now, your AFTERBUZZ TV predictions.
All right. So we talked a little bit about Miss Hayes and what she may be turning the tide
Right.
on your boy. We don't know. Could have been just setting up the drama. What do you think going forward about some of the other things? What do you think is going to happen? Start with you, Ty.
Man, I think that whole thing might just be Jim and Nick maybe reading too much into something.
Okay.
Maybe being kind of alarmist and telling Cam like, look, you need to get your head in the game. Maybe just trying to. I mean, hell, maybe they're just trying to play some mind games and get him to focus more on the competition by getting his mind away from Hayes. But I don't know. It was interesting that Nick was even getting involved in. That was really interesting to
Yeah,
me.
he was. Absolutely.
Yeah. But what's up?
No, I keep going.
I think Team Noah's still taking it.
Okay.
Still taking it next week.
Okay.
I'm gonna actually make a very big prediction. I think this next episode is gonna be the episode where Tony finally gets his break. Where he's gonna win an evolution, where he's gonna get to relax.
I love that. Yeah.
And I think we're finally gonna see it. I really hope so because regardless, you always want the underdog.
Right.
Like, and he said it himself. He's like, I'm tired. I'm beat up. Like, I need a break.
Sure.
So I feel like they're maybe, leading it up into like, he's going to get his break. And I really hope he does. He out of everyone is the one who truly deserves it.
Sure.
So
Sure.
I think that's going to happen next episode.
Right. Okay. Lem, what you think?
I actually agree with you. I was going to say it before you did. So I'm not just trying to piggyback, even though, it's all
It's
good.
okay.
Yeah.
But I definitely think, I definitely think he's going to get a break. I think it's his time. I think he's going to use the motivation, the fact that he's the only person there. I think whatever the evolution is going to be conducive to him being one person, a team of one. Mm-hmm. And I think Team T is basically going to really will him into being in first place, because the interesting part is, I don't remember, ever since it was two of them, I don't remember them coming in last.
Right.
No.
I think there's either been third or second. Haven't done first yet, but it's either been third or second. So they've been right there. And so I can see him, just using the motivation, coming out of the circus, and just really like, I have to win this because I do not want to go back in, because I'm going to go back in. If I get second, third, or fourth, I'm going back into the circus.
God, what a comeback story if he stuck it out all the way.
Yo, that would be crazy.
That'd be intense.
Because I'm curious to see. We don't really know exactly how far they're gonna go with how is it gonna get down to 4? Is it get down?
Yeah, I don't
like how far it goes. We don't know that, so it'll be interesting to see. Because obviously, if he does, go to the circus and gets eliminated, then Team T's team is just out.
That's out. Yeah.
Right.
So because it's one team is awarded. Up to $1 million, but that's
the up to are the two very important words that they keep hitting on.
But essentially, if you just look at it as each person is worth $250,000.
Sure.
So if your team wins, then each person is getting $250,000.
Right.
That's
Right.
basically.
And there's no full teams left.
Right.
So
Exactly. So. It will be interesting, but I really hope that is, and I also predict that Rourke's team is not going to be last.
yeah, you think?
I don't think they'll be first, but I definitely believe, based on what he's done with them, and I think he's just really going to be motivating them. I do not believe there's going to be last.
Right. And he cares so much, and he's doing so much to foster their growth. When he gives them the bullets, and each one is like a different round and like personalized to them.
That was really good. And he's done this like consecutively throughout the entire season. But it's just his team just cannot get it together.
Yeah, they're not gelling.
He's such an awesome dad, because he's so frustrated, but he just wants them to be the best that they can be.
Exactly. That's all it is. But we'll see. Ladies and gentlemen, that's been our show. We want to thank you so much for tuning in. We want to thank Jim for holding it down, being our guest, staying up late
on Twitter.
Yes,
follow him.
Make sure you follow him, and make sure you continue to keep the conversation going, because on YouTube you can comment all you want. There's no rules, there's no regulations. It's just how we get down, and we'd like to hear your predictions. We'd like to hear what you think is going to happen, how it's going to go down. Do you think Tony's going to last? All of that we want to know. We want to hear from you. You can always find me personally at the Poet Saint all day, every day. Yvette, where you at, girl?
You can find me at Sports and Sass on Instagram, and you can find me at Sports and Sass with 3 S's on Twitter.
Ty Matthews.
Y'all can find me on Twitter, on Instagram at Ty Matthews PMA, as well as various other after shows: Monday Night Raw, Lucha Underground, Houdini and Doyle, American Ninja Warrior, starting next week. Lots of good stuff.
I always wanted to be on that show.
Right? I think that should be Jim's next challenge.
Yeah. Oh,
Ninja
yes.
I can see that.
Get it,
Jim for Ninja Warrior.
I actually could see him on Survivor. I think
I can totally see that.
I can see Survivor for sure.
I can see him on a lot of things.
Yeah, he's just a good dude. Jim for president.
Love it.
Oh,
Hashtag Jim.
There we go.
Hashtag Jim for president.
All right, y'all. We'll see you next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.